You are off the clock with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey Trish, how are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed. It is Friday. Do you know what today is?
I don't.
Besides being March 4th?
I don't. I feel like I
It
should
is.
now.
You should. Yeah, you usually drop these on me, but I'll give one for you. Today is March 4th, at least here in the US, maybe all over the world. I don't know. It is also Employee Appreciation Day. How about that?
Oh my
Were you aware of
gosh.
that?
I no. How awful. How awful for us. Well, I mean not for you. You knew.
I'm on top of it.
But,
I know all about this. I've not really
yeah,
done anything for it, but I'm
I
aware
was
of
gonna
it.
say, have you shown appreciation for our one employee? I hope you
I
have.
have shown, I have, I have, I have, verbally, at
Oh.
least.
In my defense, I have like the worst sinus headache ever. And I
Mm.
just recorded a webinar. So it's been a little busy here. But
Okay.
well, happy Employee Appreciation Day to Karen, who really we could not operate without Karen. So special shout out
No,
to
she
Karen.
does a wonderful job. There's no doubt about that.
I know she keeps us on track. So we could not do what we do without her. And we really do appreciate her. So very good. So it is almost the weekend. What do you have planned? What's going on?
Really nothing except it dawned on me that with just a few weeks to go, maybe just a couple weeks to go, I got to watch some of those dopey Oscar movies this weekend. So I'll probably jump on that tonight, probably with I don't know which one. I'll find one that's on Netflix or Hulu or something,
You
and
know
get started with
what?
that. I got to get on it. I'm way behind.
I know, but I will tell you this. How about instead of us both trying to watch them all, what if you watch one or two? I haven't made it to yet. And then we can kind of balance each other out if we haven't hit them. I've hit almost all of them. I have
Hmm.
not watched Belfast or Licorice Pizza.
Hmm. I've not watched either of those. Maybe all right, I'll pick one of those tonight. But here's the thing, which was good news. If this, I think I was reading
Mhm.
HollywoodReporter.com this morning, just to see where these movies are
Yeah,
playing, what service they're on, et cetera, et cetera.
right.
It looks like all of at least the 10 Best Picture nominees are streaming somehow or rentable, or you don't have to actually go to a movie theater any longer to see any of
That's
the
true.
10 Best Picture movies, which is good because there's no way I was like gonna go to a movie theater by myself this weekend. I think those are over, by the way. I think movie theaters are only going to be for like
No,
superhero movies or big space disaster movies or sci-fi
I think you're
things.
right. I think
Like
you're
who wants to go
right.
to the movies? I don't. I really
Well,
don't.
because even pre-pandemic, it had gotten so expensive. We've talked about sports events being expensive, movies as well. I mean, you can pay, goodness, $15 upwards per ticket, and by the time you buy even just a soda or some popcorn, you're
And you've got to sort of do it on their schedule. They pick the times
they
that the movie's
do.
showing. That's it. God forbid you have to, go to the restroom mid-movie, and you miss like 8 minutes of
I
action or
know.
something like that. Just, yeah, the whole experience of going to the movies, I think is it's over for me. I
That's
honestly
it.
don't
You
care if
called
I
it.
ever go back.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
that depends. I mean, that's not just a pandemic thing. It's partially pandemic, but that's just, yeah, technology just changing the way we think about stuff like that. I don't think I'll ever go back to a movie theater. There you go.
Yeah. No, I think you're in the same boat with a lot of people. I think too, movie making has changed during the pandemic, and streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime have come up with a lot of their own content, which is actually really, really good and rivals anything you'd see at a movie theater. So, I think it's fine to move on to the
Yeah.
next phase, which is much better.
Absolutely. You may have heard, Trish, inflation's been a thing over here in the US for the last little while.
And
Um,
continues, yes.
and with what's, going on in the world, commodity prices are even being impacted, Trish. I don't know how much you're on top of this, but I was a little concerned, Trish, to note this today that Trish soybean meal futures, this I
Yes.
am, up to $461 per ton. That's 35% higher than 6 months ago. And that's just wrestle with that in your head for a second.
You know what? It's yeah. It's
Most of
sad.
us now probably can only afford 2 or 3 tons, right?
That's
With
right.
that at those prices? Where are you
Well,
gonna
you know what? You're right, though, about inflation. Everything is going up, right? The housing market, I heard, is expected to rise another 13% is the prediction. I just heard something recently, though, a couple days ago, about this maybe something that people will have purchased or might purchase in the future. You've been to Disney, right? You've been to the Disney theme parks. The prices have
that
continued to rise,
most
and they
magical
were
place on earth or something like
exactly.
that?
Now, the tickets do fluctuate from day to day depending on day of the week and how many people they're anticipating and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. But roughly right now, to go to Disney for the day, it's sitting around $164 a day.
Wow,
And
okay.
it's interesting because they blame inflation. However, there have been studies that have gone back like say 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and when they apply it like so tickets were in the 20 to $25 range back then, when you apply inflation to it, it would only be in the 60 to $70 range right now. So, they have, more than doubled what inflation would be. And it was interesting, they said that it's actually cheaper right now for 2 people to fly to Paris because airline prices are down a little. It's cheaper to fly to Disneyland Paris for 7 days than to actually go to Orlando to Disney World for a 5-day, 4-night trip. Crazy.
Wow. Hmm.
Fly to
Yeah, I think
Paris.
a good way to look at stuff like that is to sort of do a comparison of other types of, entertainment, if you will,
Mhm.
and kinda do it, like, by the hour, if that makes sense. So, like,
Oh, I
if
like
you're gonna
that.
go to Disney World, and let's just say I'm gonna spend, I don't know,
Yeah,
7, 8 hours there probably. You're gonna spend most of the day there.
right.
So X dollar cost times about how long you think you're gonna spend there, and do that for other things like maybe going to a football game or going to see a movie or some sort of museum or
Sure.
things like that. It's interesting to think about it that way because that is a high number, right? 170 something dollars or
Around
something like that.
165, 164, somewhere in that
Okay, you're
range.
gonna spend 8 hours there, it's 20-ish dollars per hour you're spending on
Right.
entertainment, if you will, and then maybe you'd add other things to it if you were eating and things like that, but compare that to say, oh, I don't know, like, an NFL game. NFL tickets,
I
you
know.
generally speaking, can go for thousands even for important games. The Super Bowl, right? We were talking about that a few
Right.
weeks ago,
For 3
right?
hours.
You were gonna be looking at many thousands for, yeah, 3, 4 hour, experience, so, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I guess though, yeah, Disney World, I haven't thought about even going there in forever. Like that was one of those
Yeah.
pandemic things where like that's out for a while for me. Like I was not
Mhm.
going to go to Disney World and have to walk around with a mask on all day. Like that just
Yeah.
seems like it'd be pretty sour experience, but I guess that's probably over with now.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I had one other item, and I'm not going to get to it. I had one other commodity update. Do we care about lean
No,
hog
let's
futures? Okay, we'll
no, I
skip
think
that
we're
one.
good. No, we're
Okay.
good. Let's just, let's call it a day. I'm gonna go treat the headache a little bit. I know we've got some more meetings coming up this afternoon. Hey,
Who
any,
schedules Friday afternoon meetings, by the way? That seems weird,
I
but
know. What are we
that's
doing?
okay.
What are we doing? We work for ourselves. No.
Doing it all wrong.
Actually, I'm not gonna say who, but we're talking to a client that we absolutely adore, so it will be a good afternoon, meeting. But, hey, listen, for people who are out and about this weekend, they might be going out to work out, they might be working in their yard, might wanna listen to a podcast. Couple good episodes. Do you wanna maybe allude to some of those that we have, dropping on the show?
Yeah, we've had some great stuff. We did a really good show on data security with our friends from Oracle recently. We did a couple of
Mhm,
shows on with our friends at Culture Amp, diversity, equity, inclusion show. We did digging into a lot of their recent research. Those are a couple
mhm.
episodes from them on there too. Yeah, everything's out there. Just wherever you get your podcasts, just download, subscribe, etc. Cetera. Go to hrhappyhour.net for all the deets.
There you go. All right. Well, for you, for me, we are out on this Friday. And yeah, we're going to try and put this on TikTok. We'll see how that works. So, hello to any new TikTok followers we're going to have. And yeah, we'll be back here on Monday. Have a great weekend, Steve.